Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this quick start guide for the Avro Vulcan by JustFlight for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The aim of this quick start guide is to help you start the Avro Vulcan from its cold and dark state without having to go through the internal checklist. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to ensure that we have sufficient fuel for our flight. Consult your SimBrief flight plan or your flight planning tool for the required amount of fuel. Then we're going to bring up the electronic flight bag supplied by JustFlight to manage the aircraft. We're going to head over to the weight and balance and ensure we have sufficient fuel. The tanks are full and we are ready to go. Let's ensure that we remove the engine covers as well at this point. Now that we have verified we have sufficient fuel and we have removed the engine covers, we are going to turn the oxygen on the pilot and first officer sides. Next, we need to supply the aircraft with electrical power. For this, we're going to head over to the engineer station. From the engineer station, we're going to remove the battery cover and turn the battery on. We're going to verify the voltage. And next, we're going to bring up the electronic flight bag and connect the ground power and air power units. Ground power is selected, and the air power unit is selected as well. You can hear the ground power unit starting in the background. And as you can see now, we have the ground power unit connected. Next, we're going to open the non-essential supplies. We're going to trip and check and then reset it. And now everything is back to normal. Next, we are going to start the auxiliary power plant, the equivalent of APU in modern aircraft. The AAP, or the auxiliary power plant, is located in this panel here. The first thing we're going to do is ensure that we complete the fire test. The fire test checks OK. Next, we're going to turn the master switch on, the oxygen and relight switch, as well as the LP cog. We are now ready to start the auxiliary power plant, and all you need to do is press and wait for the APP to start. You can see the pressure rising as well as the temperature. Now we are ready to start the auxiliary power plant by clicking on the AAPP button here. Next, we're going to come here to the alternators number 1 and number 4 and turn both on. And now the AAPP is powered up and the aircraft has electrical power. Next, we are going to power on our radios. The radio is now on. Next, we are going to open the fuel cocks, which are located here. Next, let's bring up the fuel pumps and autopilot panel. We're going to turn all the fuel pumps. Next, we're going to move to the autopilot panel and we're going to power up the autopilot system. Takes a little bit of time for the autopilot to power up. And once you see the white light, it indicates that the autopilot system is now ready. And next, we're going to make sure that the pressure selector is set to cruise, and we're going to guard the switch. Next, we're going to turn on the external lights and put the nav light on flash. For the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to be using rapid start. Let's go ahead and engage our throttles. To do this, Click on each throttle to bring it into the active position. Next, we're going to increase throttle to about 50%. From the air cross feed panel, we are going to turn the ignition and engine switches on, and we're going to select rapid for a rapid start. And now we're going to click here on the rapid start button to start all engines at once. Obviously, the engine sounds are too loud, so let's go ahead and close the crew door. And we're going to remove the chocks. We can now retard the throttles back to idle position. And we're going to head back to the engineer station. From the engineer station, we are now ready to start the generators. Next, we're going to sync the alternators number 2 and turn on the alternator number 2 and 3. We can now safely remove the ground power unit and the air unit as well. Now we need to close the bomb bay. We're going to move the knob to close and verify right here that the bomb bay is closed, and then move it to the auto position. Next, we're going to turn on the ARE system. We're going to move the yaw damper to number 1. Engage the pitch, the dampers, and the auto trim. If you don't get these lights to go away, just click again on the ARE, and momentarily those lights should go away. You want to also make sure that the main warning lights are off. And lastly, we're going to turn on the taxi lights in preparation for taxi. This concludes the quick startup guide for the Avro Vulcan by JustFlight for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I hope that you have found this quick start guide useful. If you have any questions, as usual, please do post them in the comment section below. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.